Beautiful human beings, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Soul Speaks with SPAC. This is episode 2, and today we are going to dive in to how the fuck I ended up here in Portugal, so far away from my home country of Australia, why I'm here, what I'm doing, how I've transitioned from being the desk jockey, the office worker, the weekend warrior, to living a life that feels much more aligned with my truest, most authentic self. But that's not to say that I'm fucking enlightened or any better than you are. What I want to share with you today are principles that you can apply to your life so that you can start discovering what is true for you, what is in alignment with you, and start living in alignment with whatever is on your heart. So today, the principles that I'm going to share with you are going to be very simple, and they're going to be principles that you can literally start applying to your life right now. So let's breathe into that. Let's take a freaking breath and drop in. The breath, what a powerful freaking tool to drop in and find your center. This is a nice little cacao smoothie I've got. Frozen bananas, cacao powder, cinnamon, coconut milk, raw honey, local honey, all fresh, local, seasonal ingredients. Don't ask about the plastic container. So, where do we begin? Right here in this fucking moment. I'm in Portugal right now. This is not where I thought I would be this time last year. This time last year, I was leaving the Costa Rican jungle to come to Europe, where I ended up in Spain and then finished up in Portugal, where I literally found my home away from home. And I didn't know that it would be possible for me to create this kind of life where I'm working online, I'm making money online to support and sustain myself, and I'm living in another country. In a few weeks, I'm going to be heading to Madeira, one of the beautiful islands. It's considered the Hawaii of Europe. I'm going to be going there with my girlfriend, spending a month. Then I'll probably be back in Portugal before heading back to my home country of Australia to catch the summer. I'm chasing the sun, baby. And this life has become possible by me finding my center, getting clear on what I actually want, who I want to become, how I want to impact and support others in this world, and stepping into the fear and the discomfort of the unknown and embracing it. And so that's lesson number 1. Only you really know what the fuck you want. Your heart knows. Your mind wants to control and figure out how it's all going to unfold. But the reality is, the path will be revealed as you step in, as you take that first step. The universe, God, Spirit, Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, Allah, whatever you want to call it, the great encompassing that connects each and every one of us, is waiting for you to make a decision. It needs a clear sign, a clear intention. When you're so unsure about what you want to do, who you want to be, where you want to go, you stay stuck in the familiar yet uncomfortable patterns of your past. There's comfort within that, even though there's a lot of discomfort within that at the same time. It's this paradox of choice. We have so many choices that we get to make. What a gift it is, the freedom of choice. But it means that we've got to make a fucking decision. We've got to choose our path. Otherwise, it'll be chosen for us. Our power will be handed over to each and everyone out there rather than us operating from within. So you've got to make a decision. How do you want your life to feel? What do you want to experience? How do you want to set your life up? Forget about how much money you'll need. Forget about the skills and the confidence that you've got to build, because understand that by taking the first step that is in alignment with what you want to create and attract and experience, that's where the confidence is built. That's where the creativity is enhanced. That's where you get to meet a deeper part of yourself. And for me, when I left my home country in November of 2021 and booked a one-way flight to the US, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was going with my heart at that time, what felt right, even though it was fucking scary. And what unfolded after that was a chain of events that have led me to this moment right now where I'm living a life that is by no means perfect and any better than your life, but it is a life that feels far more aligned with me and the path that I'm on. So, step number 1 is get clear. How do you want your life to feel? What do you want to experience? What do you want to create? Beyond making money, beyond impacting the world, what truly feels aligned with you? How can you become crystal clear on that? So if you want to become a coach, become the coach. Act as the coach right now. If you want to become a writer, start fucking writing. Plant the seeds. Start where you are. Do what you can. Let go of the idea about right and wrong and good and bad and the way in which to do it all. Simply start acting as that person that you want to become, because ultimately that person is already you. That person already exists. And the only thing standing between you and that person is the limiting beliefs and the stories and the distractions that pull you away from how you are showing up in this moment right now. So really get clear on who that is, how they show up, and then consider the version of you right now. What are the things that are holding you back? Perhaps it's scrolling through social media, looking at what everyone else is doing out there, being so overwhelmed. Perhaps you're comparing and judging yourself to everyone and everything out there. And you're worried about how people are going to perceive you when you step into a new version of yourself. I've had to go through that. I've had to let go of many friends. I've had to release my grip on what others think of me because I have no control over that. Whenever I'm trying to be in someone else's mind or in someone else's heart, I'm handing my power over out there. I'm coming away from myself, from true alignment. And so it takes me dropping into this moment and considering where my energy is at. Am I living in alignment with what feels true for me? Am I acting out of a limiting pattern of my past? Are these limiting stories that are coming up in my mind even mine? Or are they from my parents, from a teacher, from an ex, from a friend? How can I discern these limiting thoughts and these ideas from my own internal navigation system, my own truth? And so a powerful way to become more connected to yourself, more clear on what you want, is spending time getting quiet, getting still, breathing into your body. Because the breath is such a powerful tool. The breath is what moves energy through your body. And so if you're stuck and stagnant, if you're very mind-based, driven by data and judgments and fear, then your energy is not flowing. You're not able to find your own authentic flow. You're not able to be clear. You're not able to set a clear intention and start acting in alignment with that because you're stuck and stagnant and clouded and chaotic. And so to get clear on what you actually want, take time to be with yourself, get to know yourself, date yourself before dating anyone or anything out there. What feels true for you? What feels in alignment with you? Beyond what your parents want for you, beyond what your teachers and your guides and your friends want for you. What do you actually fucking want? Why do you want that? Why is that important to you? Is it for the status, for the money? Or is it because you actually want to go after that? That's important. And so taking time to block out the external noise, taking time to be in nature. Nature is within each and every one of us. We are connected. Everything is connected. So for me personally, one of the things that I love to do is take my shoes off, go into the woods with no plan, no agenda, and just walk bare feet. Perhaps I'll move, perhaps I'll take my shirt off, look into the sun, breathe deeply throughout my body. Just do what feels good. We are literally fucking animals. We are mammals. And so why would we not tap more into that side of ourselves? Because we get so caught up in the doing and ticking the next to-do off the list that we forget our true essence, our true nature. And so for me, getting into nature, reconnecting, remembering who I am, what I am, and really asking myself deeper questions like, am I actually where I want to be? And if I don't feel like I'm if I don't feel like I'm where I want to be, why is that? Why am I not where I want to be? What needs to change in order for me to be living more in alignment with my truth, with what feels true for me? How can I make space to be quiet and still? Where's my breath right now? Is my breath short and shallow in my chest? Is my breath stuck up in my throat? Am I stuck in my mind? Or am I breathing fully? Am I present? Do I actually mean the words that I'm saying? Am I speaking truthfully and honestly and authentically? That's the real fucking test. That's the enlightenment test. Ram Dass says, you want to think that you're enlightened, go and spend a week with your family. Then see if you're fucking enlightened. Cacao break. Oof, cacao is so good. I love it. So if you are not happy with where you are in life right now, why is that? It's no one's fault. It's not your parents' fault. It's not your teacher's fault. It's not your girlfriend's fault. Only you have the power to shift. You're not meant to have it all figured out. You're not meant to know exactly what you want or who you want to become. It's good if you have a level of clarity so that you can start acting in alignment with that. Because understand that you are the co-creator of your reality. You're the co-creator with the universe, with God, with whatever you want to call it. Okay, you do have a level of say in the way that you show up, in the way that you create what you attract into your life. But it's about getting clear. And so that comes from blocking out the noise and being intentional with the way that you're living. And so for me, it took a radical change. First of all, I moved interstate. I moved to Melbourne. I moved to the big city, away from my comfortable family life. That was my first big move. From there, I quit my office job. I did my personal training qualifications. I started training as a group trainer at BodyFit. And then I started at F45. I was a gym manager. I was selling memberships. I was training large groups. I was doing one-to-one personal training. And then I realized that people need so much more than just the physical aspect of training. We are multifaceted, multidimensional beings. And my journey has been way beyond just physical training and getting strong in the gym. That was where it all began. But I realized that I had so much emotional baggage and tension built up around my heart, in my belly, in my body. I was so outward focused, so worried about how others were judging and perceiving me, that I forgot what it meant to really be in my body. I forgot what it felt like. I forgot what it felt like to experience the richness of life. And so when I finally made a decision to go after something that felt exciting and scary at the same time, that's when life started to unfold in a way that felt right. And it's not to say that I don't experience pain, I don't have problems, I don't have challenges. In fact, the further I step on this path, the more I realize how little I know. I sit here pretending like I know so much, but the reality is there's so much that I don't know. And that's humbling. I'm happy that I don't know it all, that I don't have it all figured out. I'm never meant to. I was never meant to. I never will have it all figured out. So remember, if you want to change your fucking life, only you can decide that that's going to happen and when that will happen. And the past is already gone. The future does not exist yet. So all you have is right now. You get to choose how you're showing up in this moment right now. So if you think that you need to get somewhere before you can start coaching people, if you think you need to get somewhere before you can travel the world, you're literally putting up a wall, a barrier between you and stepping into that right now. So if you want to travel the world, forget about how much money you need, okay? It's obviously important to have some level of safety, financial security, and stability. But the reality is you need way less than you actually think you need in order to feel safe. Let me give you an example, okay? I, at the moment, have less money than I've ever had in my life, but I feel way more free, way more content, way more at peace. I have way less material possessions weighing me down. And I've got a completely different relationship to money, relationship to material things. I believe in this constant flow. The universe is in constant flow. And so whenever I'm holding on and living in a state of fear and lack and limitation, I'm blocking that flow. I'm closing myself off. And this is not to say that I sit back and do nothing about bringing money into my life, but I realize the more that I give, the more that I let go of, the more that I can release my grip on attaching to everything and everyone around me, I open myself up to the flow. I release the energetic blockages and limitations about what I need in order to feel safe. And I realize that safety is a state that is created from within me. And so a powerful way that I've learned to create more safety within myself is using breath work, is using time to be still and quiet in nature, is using bodyweight strength and mobility. A practice that I've developed myself through traveling the world. I haven't had access to a gym or any equipment. And so I'm able to build strength and safety within without the need for anything or anyone out there. And this is where I no longer need to invest money in my health and trainers and all of these things. And I can start cultivating a healthy, peaceful, and safe inner world from within. So again, coming back to my point about thinking you need so much money to be able to travel the world, you really don't. Depending on what kind of life you want to live. Okay, for me, I don't spend any money on alcohol. I don't go to bars and clubs. I'll treat myself and my girlfriend to a nice meal, to a nice coffee, to a nice dessert every now and then. I don't need to do it every day. But it's like I value quality over quantity so much. I used to track my macros. I used to track everything in the gym, how many lifts I was doing, the weight that I was lifting, and all of this shit. And I've detached so much from that now. What feels good in my body? What kind of food digests well in my body? What do I enjoy eating? What tastes good? How can I make food taste so good and be amazing for my health at the same time? It is possible. It's actually fucking easy when you find how to do it. When you find what works for you, it comes back to what feels true and in alignment with you. So earlier this year, when I left Australia to come to Portugal, in March, I arrived in Portugal. And while I was back home in Australia for the summer, I was planning out what I was going to be doing when I got back here to Portugal. And one of the things was building my online business, continuing to build and scale my online business to support people worldwide. And I was also planning to find a room to rent here in Portugal because I wanted to move in with local Portuguese people, practice the language, learn the language, build community, find friends. And to begin with, I was on a website called Idealista, which is where you can rent different rooms. And I was applying, sending messages off, planting all of these seeds, but nothing was happening. Nothing was coming to fruition. And I could have continued to push rocks up a hill in that moment. Or I could have taken a step back which is what I did. Breathe into it, feel into it, and consider, is there another path? Is there another possibility? And what unfolded next was somewhat magical. And I'm going to share that with you in just a second. I'm going to have another sip. And this is why it is so important to be open to opportunities, to have an expansive mind that is open to the abundance of opportunities that exist in this moment right now. So I got onto Workaway. If you don't know what Workaway is and you want to travel the world, fucking check it out ASAP. Workaway is a website, a platform where there are hosts from all around the world, travelers from all around the world, and the hosts put up different projects and opportunities that they have going. And so these can range from babysitting, permaculture, woodwork, painting, handyman kind of stuff, surf camps. When I was in Costa Rica last year, I did this working in the jungle in a property that was an ethnobotanical plant sanctuary, learning how to work with medicinal plants. And that was incredible. That was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. So I jumped onto Workaway and I found a couple of opportunities here in the Algarve, and I sent some messages off one morning, and by the afternoon I'd had a bunch of messages come back, opportunities opened up, and I scored my own apartment here in Portugal for the summer, where I'm looking after 2 little boys, helping them, taking them to the beach each week or each day. And the different opportunities that are out there are endless. Typically they ask for 5 hours of work a day, 5 days a week, but the exchanges vary. And in exchange for accommodation and food, for example, here I've got accommodation, I take care of my own food. But literally I scored my own apartment rent-free for the whole summer here in Portugal, which is epic, which is something that people dream of. And so this came through being curious about what other opportunities were out there and leaning into that. So basically, this is where I am. Soon I leave to go to the island of Madeira with my girlfriend, where she's from, where her roots are from. So I'm excited about that, the Hawaii of Europe. But this is what it means to just be open to different opportunities. You're never going to be ready. The idea of being ready is a fucking illusion that keeps you stuck in the familiar yet uncomfortable patterns of your past. And so realizing that you don't need to have it all figured out. You're not meant to have it all figured out. And by you setting a clear intention with what you're doing, and rather than saying, I want to travel more, or I need to go on a holiday, I am traveling to Portugal at the end of the year. I am packing up my life into a suitcase and moving to Bali at the end of the year. Affirm it, declare it, because when you're in this state of affirming and declaring, there's a completely different energy that's behind that. When you want something, when you need something, you're in a state of lack. You can't already have it. You need to get somewhere before you can have it. But when you start affirming and declaring and stepping in, aligning your thoughts, your words, and your actions with what you were here to create, with what you were here to attract, with what you were here to experience, this is where you tap into the power that you have within you as the co-creator of your reality. And this is how I've ended up here right now. This has taken me letting go of the need to have it all figured out. This has taken me stepping in and trusting. It's taken a level of trust within myself, within my relationship to God, to the universe, within my relationship to the unknown. But what has come as a result of this is a new level of certainty within me, to the point where I now know that this is a lifestyle that I can sustain. I can split my life 6 months in Portugal, 6 months in Australia, if I want. I plan to do more traveling to different parts of the world within those 6 months on either side. I'm going to visit Bali. I'm going to visit Central South America, perhaps spend some more time in Costa Rica, Mexico. It's a little bit of the plan, right? I've got this idea, this plan, this vision, but I'm attached to how it's all going to unfold, when it's going to unfold. And I know that it's up to me to set a clear intention and start acting in alignment with that. And this is what it means to play the inside out game. And this is what I speak about in all of my content. And so I invite you, my friends, to start playing the inside out game. If you feel like life is happening to you right now, remember that life is flowing through you. And it's up to you to tap into that flow. It's up to you to remove the barriers and the blockages and the distractions that are blocking you from that flow. It is up to you to let go of the distractions, the blockages, and the barriers that are holding you back from the life that is flowing through you, the life force energy flowing through you right now. I trust this has been helpful. I'm going to wrap this podcast here. This has been episode 2. If this has helped you, subscribe, like, and I look forward to dropping in soon.